Armand is recognized for 3 minutes.
I want to thank the gentlelady, and I want to thank my colleagues, Mr. Frelinghuysen. I agree with many of the points that you made. This is a vote of conscience for all of us. The question is not whether we trust Iran. We don't. The question is not whether we want Iran to have any pathway to a nuclear weapon. Proponents of this agreement, I'm one. Opponents of this agreement, there are many. My friend, Mr. Stewart, don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. This question about trust, we've got to step back a minute. One of the fundamental challenges that a strong and confident country faces is to secure its national security. That requires the commander-in-chief, whose fundamental responsibility is to exercise his judgment about what will work to increase our security, to enter into negotiations with adversaries. And there may be no greater adversary to the United States, to our allies, particularly Israel, than Iran. But keep in mind, President Kennedy negotiated with the Soviet Union after one of their leaders said they will bury this country. And he did that, and it turned out that he was right to limit nuclear proliferation. President Nixon went to China when it was Red China, an absolute adversary of this country and our way of life. And it's worked to the benefit of the national security of this country, and President Reagan did the same. So the fundamental question here is not at all about whether we trust Iran. We don't trust Iran. And it's not about whether you negotiate with people you trust. You have to negotiate with people that are your adversaries. The question is whether the terms and conditions of this agreement that the President is recommending, along with our very close allies, Germany, France, Great Britain, and Russia and China, will improve our national security and that of our allies, particularly Israel. My judgment is it will. One, there is no pathway for Iran to have a nuclear weapon under this agreement. Number two, this is not based on trust. It's based on distrust and strong verification provisions that will give us a heads up if there's any effort of Iran not to comply. Third, we have the opportunity to snap back the sanctions that all of us supported that brought Iran to the table. And we don't have to get a majority vote. We can do that unilaterally. And then finally, we do have to ask the question, not whether this is the perfect agreement. Undoubtedly, there could be a better agreement that might give more satisfaction and security and peace of mind to all of us. It's a question of this agreement or no agreement. That's the question that we face. And the weight of opinion in judgment is that if we repudiate this agreement, the sanction regime that we constructed under the leadership of President George Bush and President Barack Obama would dissolve. What happens then? Iran gets the money, and they have no restraint on their ability to get the bomb. I urge us to support this agreement in the national security interest of the United States of America and Israel and our allies. I yield back. Thank you.
Gentleman's time has expired.